To see the fully uncut version of this video, head over to patreon.com/Jonjo Lyons.
What's that like to live deliciously? Chaos reigns.
Please don't scream.
Nah, Sid, don't you blame the movies. Movies don't create psychos. Movies make psychos more creative.
What's going on? My name is Jonjo Lyons, and today I'm here to present to you my review for Hooker With A Hacksaw. Written by Donald Farmer and Casper Melted Hair and directed by Farmer, Hooker With A Hacksaw stars all of these lot. Kirsten is just an average girl with big problems. Problems like psycho pervs, snuff movie makers, and animal masked freaks. Too bad for them, Kirsten has a very big hacksaw. Now she's out for revenge, sawing her way through the scum. How you doing, my favourite gluttons for punishment? Today we have something very special for you. That's right, we're going to be covering my very first Donald Farmer movie. I was first introduced to the world of Mr. Farmer by every YouTuber's favourite YouTube channel, Red Letter Media, when they were thoroughly disturbed by Donald's modern day classic Shark Exorcist. They recently did a video where they covered multiple Farmer films, but unfortunately Hooker With A Hacksaw was one of the ones they didn't really go into much detail on. They did show a short clip though that intrigued me enough to track down my own copy, and I must say, I wasn't disappointed. That's a lie. That's a terrible, terrible lie. But before we get into all of that, I just want to remind you, you can see this video completely uncut and early at patreon.com/Jonjo Lyons for as little as $3 a month. That's it. Want to see the uncut videos and gain access to the Discord? Go over there now. Also, as you probably know, I recently directed my very own short film, Better Anything. We're currently crowdfunding to help finish the movie, and you can find the link for that in the pinned comment and description below. We need to pay for the editor, sound designer, composer, and of course the art for the film, so anything that you can contribute would be a massive, massive help. Literally anything, big or small, 500, £5, anything, literally, I really appreciate it. It's gonna be well worth getting this to the big screen, and I can't wait to see what happens next. But anyway, I'm in the mood to see someone have a very interesting reaction to almost being murdered, so let's not waste any more time. Get ready to meet Donald Farmer's answer to the Punisher! This is Hooker With A Hacksaw. The movie begins with this woman, Kirsten, taking a walk when she stumbles on this fella cutting some wood with a hacksaw. She stops to watch when the man notices her and does this. Ah, off to a good start. Jesus Christ, that wasn't a bad edit. Cool. Anyway. Editor, can we... Could someone please wake the editor up? After an eternity of that shot, Kirsten makes this face, we get a repeat shot of the handyman, and Kirsten walks off into the title card. Cut to the opening credits where we find out Leanna Quigley is in this movie, then to Kirsten on this balcony before heading back inside the party. Here she sits on her own while downstairs everyone line dances. She then goes downstairs and we cut to this interesting edit.
Oh, so your daddy is Charles Manson.
Sweet, it looks like things are going to be quite experimental in this movie, and I'm here for it. Kirsten, who's a phone sex operator, answers the phone to this fella Mitch. He says she sounds like his mother, getting the dirty talk off to a good start. After some more talk about Mumsy, Kirsten asks Mitch what his fantasy is.
So, tell me your biggest fantasy, and I'll make it come true.
Well, you said you want to hear my fantasy. And my fantasy is to meet you.
Red flag, abort Kirsten, abort! Kirsten of course isn't down for that, but Mitch assures her he'll make it worth her while offering her drugs through his hospital job. He asks if they have a deal when we cut to Kirsten arriving at Mitch's place. He's immediately weird as but shows he's good for the pills before leading her deeper into the house and introducing her to Mum.
Mama wants to eat some
Look, I know this is a weird situation, but at least the skeleton's plastic. If that was really his mother, then this would be a real problem, even with the pills. The question is though, would I ride a dead person's face for drugs? Yeah. Mitch pushes her into the room and Kirsten jumps on, giving the Spirit Halloween decoration the ride of his life. Cut to Kirsten walking away from this encounter wearing this mask for some reason. She fake snorts a pill through the mask, then answers a call from this guy Raymond, who claims to be Mitch's friend. Kirsten says she only does phone calls, but Raymond tells her Mitch said she'd make an exception for the right price.
Yeah, well, he's just a fountain of information, isn't he? You, Raymond.
And I know we're only 13 minutes in and this is kind of nitpicking, but at no point in that phone call did Raymond tell her his name. So either that was a really lucky guess or Raymond is some sort of slur in this universe. Cut to Higgins' Moonlight Drive-In where Kirsten is enjoying a movie. A movie of the erotic nature. And this is what I was talking about in the Headless review. If that movie had a filter like this, it would have been way more convincing. First and probably only good point for Farmer there. Well done, champ. On screen, we see people carrying a body, which Kirsten seems to really enjoy, then cut back to the woman on the bed. The door creaks open, revealing these zombies who slowly creep up to the now sleeping victim. The woman wakes up and screams as we cut to this diner/lingerie store. Kirsten gags watching this guy drown his fries in ketchup as she flashes back to her fantasy from earlier. She leaves and we cut to her in the car whinging about getting her tape ruined. Cut to Kirsten shopping. Jesus Christ, this movie's giving me whiplash. Here Kirsten looks over toys and comic books. At the counter she asks about this alien doll and the clerk tells her it's $75, which he finds rather amusing. She then looks at her minimal cash before heading outside and calling Raymond to meet up.
Hey, Raymond? Did you still want to see me?
Cut to Kirsten arriving and me hoping that the meetings get progressively weirder the longer the movie goes on. She then meets Raymond, who ushers her inside. In the kitchen, Raymond pays her with an envelope that has $signs written on it, which really made me laugh. Ready to get the party started, Raymond offers Kirsten a drink, with her asking sarcastically how many roofies are in it. Raymond jokingly says 12, then downs the drink to prove it's fine before offering her another. He then starts to point where to go when he suddenly collapses and passes out. So there was roofies in the drink. Then why the did you drink it, Raymond?
Oh my god, did that actually work? Did I actually fool you?
Oh, right. Okay. Funny. Raymond sticks Kirsten with the needle and she passes out, something I think he could have done without that song and dance, but whatever, and she wakes up in a pretty troublesome situation. Here we find two men in masks with a hacksaw and a phone camera. They film Kirsten's cries as she repeatedly says no and tells them to go away.
No!
She manages to get loose and knocks Pigman back before attacking him with the hacksaw. Nice! Go on, Kirsten. That piggy up. She then removes his head.
So what do you think, pig boy? Do I give good head?
There's been at least one head removal in the last 3 films that I've covered, one of which entirely consisted of head removals. Go watch the Headless review. And Terrifier. Just watch them all. Twice. Cut to Kirsten walking down the street with her hacksaw. She answers a call from Raymond, who laments the fact that she had to leave his party so soon. She tells him she's coming for Bird Boy and coming for him, which Raymond doesn't seem to mind all that much.
You know, I'd hoped you would say that. It'll be so good to see you. Kisses.
Cut to this bar as this woman approaches Kirsten and just starts randomly talking to her about ghosts. The mystery woman asks Kirsten her name, but she doesn't want to give it up, instead stating her hobbies as being making mixtapes and watching VHS. The woman then asks Kirsten if she has a car, which she admits she does. She then introduces herself as Ali and says she can get her name on the ride home.
My name's Kirsten.
She said she'd get your name on the ride home, Kirsten. Listen. Also, what was this scene? Some sort of meet cute. Kirsten is nearly murdered and then suddenly she's in a bar reading comic books and getting chatted up by a bird obsessed with ghosts. What the f*** is going on? Cut to the car where Ali asks Kirsten what she does for a living, saying she used to clean hostel toilets in Europe, which is kinda random. Kirsten then says she wishes she was in Amsterdam right now.
I know. Let's click our heels 3 times and say, there's no place like Amsterdam. There's no place like Amsterdam. There's no place like Amsterdam. There's no place like Amsterdam.
Well, these two are clearly just as annoying as each other, so perfect match. Cut to the women having a dance party back at Ali's and giggling on the sofa when Kirsten's phone rings. She admits to Ali what she does for a living and answers to this fella who wants to have some fun with a can of silly string and a turkey leg. Kirsten says she's a vegetarian and hangs up when Ali tells her she's got to keep them on the line to make more money, saying she did the same job for 3 years. She says they should team up and then they do a mock call.
Oh yeah? Wow, my lucky girl.
You don't know how lucky. Kirsten! What's wrong?
Oh, for f***'s sake. I thought that scene was going to go a different way. Never mind. Cut to the Addams family house as inside Raymond looks at a picture of Kirsten on his laptop before rubbing his face against it, then having sex with it. What the f***?
I love this computer so much.
Must be a model I've never seen before. Hey, I've heard of updating your RAM, but this is ridiculous. F*** you. Cut to Kirsten shopping again, this time in a Halloween store and trying on masks. This scene goes on for longer than necessary when she eventually leaves wearing a witch's hat and now magically carrying her hacksaw. She hears this fella beating up on his missus and saying he's gonna kill her and goes off running in their direction.
You better let her go.
You gotta be kidding me. Who the are you, little Bo Peep?
Little Bo Peep, she's wearing a witch's hat. You could have at least had your joke be in context. Oh, if it isn't the wicked bitch of the West. See? That took me 30 seconds. Try harder! The man then attacks Kirsten and starts choking her out when our hero saws his bollocks so badly it somehow makes him cough blood all over her. The other woman gets away as Kirsten laughs and the man reconsiders his life choices. She then walks away as we cut to just one more bar and grill. Here she apologizes to Ali for the previous night, saying she's got issues and made a big mistake.
Well, I had this customer last night, and he was way too freaky. How freaky? Well, he wanted to make a snuff film starring me.
Oh my god.
That's a little bit more than freaky, Kirsten. Ali then gives her a present, this ghost thing. I don't know. Cut back to one of the girls' apartments. Honestly, it could be either one where Ali plays something she used to listen to back in Venice. They then have a slow dance to the song for a long while when again Kirsten has a flashback and leaves. Cut to Kirsten walking with her hacksaw on the verge of a panic attack and wondering what's happening to her. This then jumps out of the bushes and asks Kirsten if she wants to fly waggling a pill bottle. He says the first sample is free and she stupidly just pops this random pill when the guy tries to get his dick sucked. We then get some ambitious camera work as the pills start to take effect. Kirsten finally turns round to see the man now has a bird mask on, which is hilarious, then starts screaming. She steps to the Birdman and tells him she's gonna make him scream while circling him over and over. Finally, she asks him a question.
Got a question, bird boy. What color are your guts?
She then sits on top of him and pulls his guts out, rubbing them all over herself. Which is pretty remarkable given the fact that the shirt wasn't even ripped when he turned around with all that ketchup on his hands. Also, congrats movie. This is a lot gorier than I thought you were gonna be. Oh, and now she's his guts off. Okie dokie. Kirsten then walks away and we see the man without a mask on the floor dead. Cut to Kirsten getting back to Ali's place and calling out for her. She says she's sorry when she notices a note on the whiteboard reading, "I've borrowed your friend. Less pie." Cut to Kirsten rocking up with this giant hacksaw. Even the graffiti is like, god damn, look at the size of that thing. Kirsten rocks up to this place and heads inside without any explanation on how she found it. I guess this was the same place that she was nearly murdered at before? I don't know. Anyway, she heads on through, picks this thing up and gives it a swing before putting it down and moving on. Cool. Cut to Ali ready for slaughtering when Bird Boy comes in with a video camera. Ali then asks 3 important questions.
Who are you? Who is this place? What do you want with me, you sucker?
Exquisite acting across the board in this one. She pleads with Bird Boy to let her go, but the avian assassin continues to silently film her. And once again, this scene goes on for way longer than it should. I really want to go through and edit the film correctly and see what kind of length we get at the end. Bird Boy then pops the camera down and picks this thing up to give Ali a tickle before picking up something much more threatening. He starts rubbing her with that, and that's when Kirsten hears her screams and puts down the massive hacksaw. What the f***? She instead picks up some tiny little sharp thing, and I'm officially pissed off with this movie. If she doesn't end up using the giant hacksaw at all, I'm gonna kick off. Kirsten turns the corner to find Ali getting her tummy ripped open, then does the best and most convincing stabbing I've ever seen in a movie. Good Lord. Next, she cuts Bird Boy's leg off in a much better looking effect, then bathes in his blood before beating him to death. With the leg, which is legit amazing. She then discovers Ali is dead.
Hey! No! 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 Allie! Allie, I can't live without you. I love you.
You met her yesterday, Kirsten. What the f*** are you talking about? Cut to the ghost thing as Kirsten gives it a hug and goes into the fetal position. She hears some rumblings at the front door, so goes to investigate, discovering another message that reads, "Join me." And now it's time for our epic conclusion where Kirsten will go and take her revenge. Oh, what the f***? Also, that shitty hacksaw on the side of the bath only serves to remind me that we never got to see the big boy in action. Why show the big hacksaw if you're not going to use the big hacksaw? In the bath, Kirsten starts to do the old across the road, and we cut to her having a fun time with animal statues, a lamppost, and this nightmare dog. She then fondles a triceratops. You could say she's got the horn for it. You again. Cut back to the bath as we see Kirsten is actually fine.
I'm coming, Raymond. I'm coming for you.
Once again with the same level of enthusiasm as any woman I've ever slept with. Cut to Raymond's once more as Kirsten pulls up. Inside, he seems to be having a nice time when Kirsten catches him and asks if he missed her. Cut to him now hogtied on the floor. Kirsten flips him over, tells him she's gonna enjoy this, and cuts his off. Outside, the day for night sky turns red and we cut to the car's POV for a bit. Kirsten then steps to the window in one of the coolest shots of the film, and this madness finally comes to an end.
It's a way of unyielding pride.
Oh Christ, what the f*** now? We apparently cut to another car POV as the driver listens to religious chat about punishment on the radio. We then cut to the Coffee County Animal Control and take a look around there for a bit. Cut to a shot of some puppers, which is intercut with the chopping, suggesting this is Kirsten feeding the penis to the good boys. Cut to this little girl playing with her dolls when Kirsten approaches. She hands the hacksaw to the girl, who chops her doll's head off, symbolizing the passing of the torch perhaps, or just that this kid's a Psycho. Then, in a movie that's somehow still going, we cut to two women we've never even seen before. This woman, let's call her Brunette, is watching something on her phone when she's joined by Blackhair. Brunette says she's watching a show about runaway kids and wishes she could be free like them. Blackhair shows concern when Brunette brings up hookers and how their job is actually empowering to women. She then tells Blackhair about Kirsten being all over the internet and how she wants to be just like her. She finally says she's going to the hardware store to pick up a hacksaw, and we get this fantastic final line.
Lay off. Please don't be a hooker with a hacksaw.
Absolute 100% favourite line delivery of the film. Of the last 10 films I've seen. Perfection. Anyway, cut to Kirsten walking out of a car wash and the film actually finally ends. The end. Well, I don't really know how to feel about this one. How can a film be so boring and yet so wildly entertaining at the same time? Hooker with a Hacksaw is an interesting film, if not quite what I was expecting. Called me crazy, but I thought I was going to get this creepily sleazy piece of material for the director with no gore. I just wanted to be made to feel uncomfortable. Instead, what we have is a sometimes boring, always perplexing piece of low-budget cinematic art. The story is simple enough as we follow an addict phone sex operator who escapes being in a snuff film after meeting up with a client. Then she apparently falls in love with the least charismatic human being on the planet, who is then killed, dooming Kirsten to walk the earth alone and on an everlasting mission of vengeance. And yeah, that's it. Pretty simple. I think the only thing I bump up against is how quickly the women fall in love with each other, but other than that, it's pretty straightforward. Oh, and the extra scenes at the end showing Kirsten is now inspiring other women and that she's ready for more. I want to pitch a sequel where Kirsten is the leader of a group of hacksaw women and they go around dudes up. I would call it Hookers with a Hacksaw. Onto the characters, and everyone is pretty terrible. Mitch is at least kind of interesting, Kirsten is trying her best, and the mask killers are there, but worst of all has to be Ali. I really don't have anything else to say here, it's bad. My favourite though has to be the woman who yells, "Don't be a hooker with a hacksaw" at the end. What the f was going on there? Next is the gore, and we get some nice surprises here with actual blood splatter rather than poorly done digital bullshit. The head sawing was nice even though it went on for a million years, the guts were cool, and Ali got messed up pretty bad. My expectations were in the toilet, so I guess anything was going to impress me. Production wise, do I even need to say anything here? It's all dog shit. At least I could see what was going on, I guess. All in all, Hooker with a Hacksaw was better than I expected it to be, but that's because I thought it was going to be animal soup levels of bad. If you like movies, this might be more entertaining than Shark Exorcist, but only, and I mean only, if you're into this particular brand of punishment. After seeing this, will I be checking out more of Donald's work? Sure, but only if it's even worse than this. So that was my review for Hooker with a Hacksaw. What do you lot think? I've got to admit, this one did surprise me, and if you can get through all the boring there's some good stuff in there. To be honest with you though, I think it was just those random moments of violence. Splash a bit of blood on anything and I'll be satisfied. Speaking of which, if you want to see Kirsten off guts and riding a plastic skeleton's face completely uncut and early, head over to patreon.com/Jonjo Lyons. There you can find the uncut version of this review plus others with more stuff being added all the time. We got the uncut reviews, Patreon exclusive reviews, /comic breakdowns and the Discord. And all that can be yours for as little as $3 a month. You can pledge more, I really appreciate it as I need to finish my film. Like I said, and I'll keep on saying, we're trying to raise the finishing funds to finish my short film Better Anything. There's an Indiegogo happening right now and you can find the link for that in the pinned comment and description below. Any donation, big or small, would be massively appreciated. Thank you. So that's it for another week. Like the video, leave a comment and click subscribe if you haven't already. My name's Jonjo Lyons, and why would you show the big hacksaw if you're not going to use it? Why tease me like that, Donald? I've got big hacksaw blue balls now. Are you going to relieve me? Relieve me, Donald! See you next time.